We are ready. Welcome back to Signals on 91.3. My name is Adeomi Oshidi, and this morning, yes, I said I missed having our business conversations, and yes, we're back. Elections is over. Life can continue. So we're talking exploring innovation through food. Special thanks to Uncle Yomi. That's sorted. I have with me. Don't mind me. I have with me the founder and chief operations officer, the CEO at Lim Lim Foods Production Company. So she's a chartered accountant with a passion for driving innovation, change, food security in the agri-food processing value chain in Africa. Our mission is to help reduce post-harvest losses in Nigeria by partnering with the right stakeholders, helping to build sustainable agri-food processing businesses, and providing knowledge and guidance to new entries in the industry. Now, it's plenty. The profile is plenty, but I picked this. She's the recipient of the She 00 Award for Outstanding Achievements in Business, recognized by the Business Day as top 100 fastest growing SMEs in Nigeria. And then the list is endless, but at least she's here with us, and I have with me Adeola Balogun. Welcome to Signals.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yes. So we're talking exploring food through innovation, right? And I think while I was reading, I stumbled on something. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, where they said Nigeria is the largest growing tomatoes in Africa. So, but then our problem is we're not canning them, so it goes to waste. Now you're talking about, so I'm going to pick food waste. Let's talk about food waste, right? During the whole when we did not have naira, we're having there's glut in the market, food is wasting and all of that. What are your thoughts on it? Yeah.
It takes a lot of thinking. Nigeria is kind of like a paradox in itself. We're very hardworking.
Okay.
But then it's a bit frustrating and painful to see farmers that have put in so much hard work, and at the point of harvest, they're not able to get value for what they've worked for. Over 50% of what farmers grow in Nigeria goes to waste before it gets to the consumer, final consumer. From the farm gate, we have lack of infrastructure and logistics to deal with this produce. You mentioned tomatoes. Tomatoes, for example, we predominantly send them down to Lagos using sacks. Now, when these sacks are stacked on top of each other, you find at the bottom, and you have like 3 or 4 layers in a truck. You find at the bottom ones are mostly pressed and all that, they're not wholesome. Even where they put in wood in between to support, they're not wholesome, and that's how the government now introduced plastic crates for farmers to use. Even at that, from the farm gate, we don't have the right kind of trucks to transport this produce from the north, where the Kaduna belt where they are grown, to down south Lagos where they are largely consumed. So we're talking about trucks that are refrigerated, where they can, in so using, this produce can last for longer periods, unlike the 5 to 6 days that it normally lasts. It could last for 2 weeks. I mean, we've seen sample instances where we have cold rooms, and the tomatoes can actually last longer. So it's very painful. It's very painful, and it cuts across all produce that's grown in Nigeria.
So this leads me to why agriculture? Like,
for me,
yeah,
I'm actually,
because really from accounting, it's A and A anyway.
Yeah. So for me, my passion was in fashion design, and my husband felt he'll get tired of it after some time. So he gave me a challenge and said, go for food. Anybody, because he's an agric economist, so anyone that does food, I mean, if you can do food and can do it and can win at food, then you can win at anything. And so I said, okay, let me take a low-hanging fruit. I saw that we had dried fruits in Nigeria, thanks to those that had started it before us, but there was a limitation in terms of variety. And I felt, okay, I could come in looking at where the already existing players were not looking at. I particularly picked bananas. Bananas for me, because once it is ripe, we have no use for bananas. And that was one area we started with. We started doing dried bananas, and our clients started asking for more, and we started doing research on how to turn it into powders. And today, thanking God for His mercies, we're able to use ripe bananas. Is used in the baby food manufacturing companies. We turn them into powders, and they use in making baby food. We have some people using them for granola and so many other products in Nigeria.
Banana.
Yes.
Banana that after 1 or 2 days it will be messy a bit.
Ripe bananas, we turn them into powders, we turn them into chips.
Okay.
The kids love them. They love them.
So the target market is children?
Not necessarily. Our produce can be used across so many industries, from cereal, baby, confectionery, drinks, smoothie makers, yogurt makers. It cuts across. So taking what we predominantly don't give value to, we're turning them into value, and we're because the same companies that are manufacturing food in Nigeria import these raw materials. So it's a paradox. On one hand, you have farmers losing them, and the other hand, you have food and beverage companies importing them in. So the only thing that is stopping them from using what we have locally is the technology to process.
So how's getting technology to be able to process what you have?
It's been a long journey.
Okay, I want to see it. I want to hear about it.
I must say, it's been a long journey. Whilst I was working, I worked in 2 multinationals at very senior levels. Okay. So whilst I was working, I would do a lot of research. I love doing research because I like to be very good at what I do. And I like to, if anything I'm going into, I like to go deep into it. So I've done a lot of research, and I'd identified some countries where we get the machines that we're using. We've been to Dubai, we've been to companies in Dubai. I attend a lot of trade shows because that's where you get a lot of ideas and inspiration, and you see innovation. And then you now relate it to what you have back home and how you can grow what you have back home. I've been to India. I was very fortunate to go to India. I think it was just by providence, and I identified the company. I'd never met them before, and they told me, if you can fly down to a different province, about 17 hours by road or 2 hours by flight, if you can fly down, they will show me their machines, and they will even take me to a factory where the machines are being used. And we went through all that. So I tell people, it's not just about sitting down and saying, okay, somebody has done, let me copy the person. You would fail woefully. I've been to the US also. We've spoken to Italians. I think I've gone to about 6 or 7 different countries, trying to see what's the best fit, given what our peculiarities are in Africa and indeed Nigeria, to see which one fits in, which one can we adopt more. So it's not been an easy journey, and it's not for the faint hearted.
Now, having gone through different countries, their markets and our market, what's different?
Well, we're kind of like similar in terms of the fact that the fruits and vegetables, we use it pretty much the same way. Nigeria is largely blue ocean because we don't have people using this particular kind of technology. So there's a big market for this in Nigeria. But we're also similar in the fact that along the line we launched some certain products that they have it over there, but we are now using our local produce. We're taking our local foods and turning them into international brands. One we did recently was the launch of the ready-to-drink pepper soup.
Okay.
Which is like you don't need a pot, you don't need a pot, you don't need pans, you don't need microwave, you don't need to prepare anything. It comes out like a block, and you put in your bowl and you pour hot water in it, and just wait 2 minutes.
Pepper soup.
And your pepper soup is ready. It has all the proteins, it has all the vegetables in it. You're not doing anything. So for any discerning housewife who wants to keep her husband at home,
she had to go there.
I like going out to
she had to go there.
You want to impress your husband's friends and go and just keep the drinks in the fridge. Just let them sit down. Big screen TV. The football match is on. Just serve them their pepper soup.
It's a tech food. Now, so speaking on pepper soup, now what's the shelf life like?
Okay, so our products, because of the technology we're using to process, we take away 99% of the moisture, but in doing so it keeps the product structure intact and the nutrients are not compromised. Our products can last for a minimum of 1 year, and globally with international standards can last for 5 years plus without compromising the product.
Okay, so there's no, when you buy something, when you buy like sardine or something, it has expires XYZ. There's no expiry date.
For Nigerian standards, it's 1 year.
Okay.
For Nigerian standards, but globally out there, it can last for 5 years. I'm using the same technology. It lasts for more than that.
So let me still stay on that pepper soup because it's a lot of work to prepare anyway. And then why did you decide that pepper soup was something you had to turn to tech? Because that's how we mention it like that.
Okay, so we looked at Nigerian meals, and pepper soup came up as one of the top 3 meals that Nigerians love and
Okay.
they crave for. And we thought of, actually, when we're at product conceptualization stage, we thought of Nigerians in diaspora that would want to have a taste of home. But so far, even the Nigerians home here, they've not allowed us to even carry it outside the country. They've been on our neck. We have orders on and on and on for it.
For pepper soup.
Because what we tried to do was to ensure that we got the bottom pot taste of pepper soup. It wasn't a cosmetic product. It's not a cosmetic product.
So even with pepper, for some people they like it extra spicy.
Well, we could come up with variations in the future. That could go under product variation. But for now, what we have suffices to meet a large market in terms of the taste, the flavor, the smell. I mean, if you go on our social media pages, you'll see reviews from clients that have used them across the world, and you see how they.
So let's say Lagos takes, like Lagos can try anything. Abroad can. What about the other parts of the country who like to go to their farm to go and cut all the leaves? What's the reception like outside of Lagos? Lagos can collect, but
outside of Lagos, it's been interesting. During this Ramadan, I've had friends saying, I need to have this so I can use to break my fast.
Okay,
something
so it's
different.
easy.
It's very easy. It's just 2 minutes. You're not stressing your wife to go and cut fish, and then she'll now do experiments with also of pepper soup spices. This one will deliver this week. Next week, the other one will use will give you another taste and up taste.
Men like food,
and our men love it. They love their food. They say you go to a man's heart, it's through his stomach.
but they can go to the kitchen, have we? Now, so away from pepper soup, what other variations do you have?
Okay, so
you've mentioned banana, you've mentioned pepper soup. What other products?
So during COVID, and when farmers, particularly the poultry value chain, they were experiencing egg gluts.
Yes, and they're still experiencing now.
Yes. So we started freeze drying egg powder. So we're able to turn fresh eggs, into 3 products. In fact, 4 products. So we're able to turn fresh eggs into whole egg powder, egg white powder, egg yolk powder, and eggshells.
That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is a lot of work. It's not for the faint-hearted.
So what is the egg yolk? What is the egg powder? Where is it going? Where's the end of it?
Okay, so a lot of so I'll just mention a few products, and then so you can relate to how this raw material can be used. So all the mayonnaise we eat, they use egg powder they use egg in making mayonnaise. A lot of the chin we eat in Nigeria, the commercial quantity chin, there's egg powder in it. In noodles, there's egg powder in it. In biscuits, there's egg powder in it. Wow. There's no reason why right now bakers, those making cakes, should be using fresh eggs, for example.
That flavor.
So on my page, you'd see a video that we pinned on the video where we turn our eggs, we just add water, and you fry it for breakfast.
Okay.
It
So
goes
instead
back
of breaking
eggs, instead of buying eggs and say, okay, my eggs are going to go to waste.
Yes.
And people that are going for this jackpot syndrome, we had quite a number of clients carry our egg powder with them, not in commercial quantity because of restrictions. And we got feedback. Someone was like, oh, she wish she even bought more because it was just made easy for her to do breakfast on the go. Okay. So
well, that's a lot of innovations. It's Signals on 91.3. We're talking exploring food through innovation with Adiola Balogun. Now she's the founder and CEO of Lim. LIM. I got it.
Yes, it
good. So if you have questions or comments, you can send us a WhatsApp message 0809 234 5913 or 0151519113 or call us 009 191 3913. Now you have one now. So you have one with hobby saying that you'll soon get tired. Have you want to get tired? Have you wanted to get tired with the old back and forth?
No. It's even. I'm sure he didn't even expect that it would go this deep. That it would go to this kind of level.
Yeah, pay 10%. Okay. So then when you started and now we're not even going into the future yet. What has changed even for you?
So when we started, we felt we didn't define our market properly. We felt we could service just anybody that would come in. So we have people that are buying. We had clients ranging from those that wanted to buy in small packs to clients that wanted to buy in big packs. And we found ourselves struggling to meet the demand. And you find that it's the clients that want to buy the small packs that will give you the most hassle, because they're like, I want this now. But the clients that are buying in bulk, they kind of like understood the challenges, and there's no light. And this technology, you have to use light, you have to be on power 24/7.
Okay. So the
there's
diesel
wahala and all that. So so after some time, my board of trustees called. We had a meeting, and they were like, no, you need to cut off small packs for now, until, because you're a B2B business, we're focused on business to businesses. So anyone that wants to buy, we focus on those buying in bulk for now. But later this year we're going to be in stores.
Okay.
And so our retail customers, our consumers, can have access to our products in big stores across the country.
The first sale of your banana, how many cartons did they come and buy?
Banana, we sold in Okiari. We sold, without any marketing support, we sold cartons of banana powder. We called it green. Two products from banana. Okay. Green banana powder, which was the unripe banana, which has a lot of probiotics. So all we're trying to do is to show that with the banana value chain, there's so much you can get.
Okay, is valuable.
Yes. So we sold without any marketing support, and we went in, we had merchandisers, and we sold cartons of this product in the open market. And it was mocked up.
Immediately.
It took about less than a month, everything was mocked up.
What do you think spurred people to carry something that they had not tested before?
So I think we got it right in terms of the distributor we used,
okay,
and the use of merchandisers. And people want to try something new, particularly if the price is right. Okay. Your packaging looks attractive, and your merchandisers are able to speak to the benefits of the product. And also ensuring that we take care of the players across the value chain. So our distributors are getting the right margins, the bulk breakers are getting the right margins. So people that are pushing your product across those lines are happy. They're happy to carry, because now for everyone they sell, there's more money entering their pocket.
Okay. So, now you're very big on research, and having seen different markets, right? What would improve for people who are going into this line of business? Because really research can sometimes be very tricky, because sometimes you don't understand and sometimes you do. But what did you see with research that kept pushing you forward?
So for me, I mean, if you want to go into the business, you can't enter any business with your eyes closed. You need to do some form of background checks. You need to at least validate. I started the business from my kitchen, from an experiment, and we used to send out samples to friends in companies. I had a friend then working in Nestle, and then I sent samples to her neck. Like, they wanted more. I was like, really? Okay. So, okay. So we decided doing more, and then we started telling friends, and the people started ordering. So that's what they called minimum viable product, or a validation, or testing it, test the waters. There was a book I read way back then, Start Small, Finish Big. You start small and start growing a bit organically to test it, and so you can easily pivot if things don't work out the way you feel. So there's no way you can ignore research or a bit of testing.
But as a country, they say we're not big on research and development.
That's why we have quite a number of businesses that are failing. They're failing because they just enter because I have money. Okay, I see a lot of people. I used to have those kind of boats before. I go to Ikorodu, I see a crowd. I'm like, wow, I'm excited. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people. What can I bring here to sell to these people? Who consume stuff, But if you don't understand that market and you go and bring something very expensive for the market, you will fail. So you need to understand the market you want to sell into. What ticks them, what's important to them, and then you now get a product that can fit them.
Product fit. There's this argument that says egg before chicken, chicken before egg. With business, is it people first or product? What comes first? It's very dicey.
It's very dicey. But I think for me personally, I think getting your market right is important. Okay. There's so many products out there. We're not a metal seller. They've done it. There's nothing new. I'm bringing not the sun. Someone has done it somewhere in the world. So just look for someone that you feel is doing something right, and probably look at, maybe there are some areas that they're not doing some things that you feel that you can have an edge, and then you come in from that angle.
Now let's go back to the farmers. Do you deal directly with the farmers where the bananas are out, and is it the ones that are about to spoil, or the ones that how do you select the quantity of the bananas? I know pepper soup you can always get that one. But bananas, and is it only bananas?
We do with about six a lot of fruits. So what we've done for a number of years in the past was to go. So when some people, they'll look at our page and like, what are you doing exactly? And I smile, because we're trying to tell a story.
Okay.
We're trying to tell a story that all these fruits and vegetables grown locally in Nigeria can be turned into value adding products. So is it strawberries grown in Jos? Is it mangoes from Benue and Ogbomoso? Is it pineapples? Is it soursop? Is it pawpaw? Is it name it? Whatever produce that is grown locally in Nigeria, we have proven to Nigerians that it can be turned into value adding products, into ingredients that can be used in making all sorts of products. So now we have some people come at me and say, okay, agbalumo for example.
Okay.
In fact, we send agbalumo to Houston a lot. They want the agbalumo. They want to have a taste of home. We have a lot of Nigerians in diaspora.
So what do you do with agbalumo again?
We turn agbalumo into snacks, into powders, and it's sent abroad. It's even used locally in making ice cream, in making yogurts. Even for pregnant women, they buy it because of to quell their morning sickness. So you just have them put in their mouth, and then they're going.
Our food.
Yes.
So
what we used to throw away and feel that has no
our
value.
waste.
Yes.
Now, and let me just ask, because yes, it's quite interesting where it's not that bad as we think it is.
No, it is not.
Okay. Now, what has been the success rate in reducing post-harvest losses in Nigeria?
I'm just a small player in the whole.
No. Let's not say small player. I know you're trying to make it a little bit sound very. No. Let's.
I'm just one of the players in the market, and I think we need to have more players in the marketplace. We need to have more people come in to help these farmers. We try to buy when it's in season.
Yes.
Because when it's in season, the prices are lower. We can buy a lot in bulk. We buy trucks of bananas. We don't buy them when they're ripe.
Okay.
We buy them from farmers, cluster of farmers, and we invite farmers markets across the country. So for bananas, they come together. We buy, we take from them in trucks, and we turn into green banana, or as it ripens, we turn into ripe banana chips. We buy strawberries from Jos. We buy mangoes from Benue. Benue has awesome mangoes. We've tried using mangoes from Ogbomoso, but we found that the yield from those in Benue, the taste is different. And it stays longer. You know, we buy pineapples from down south, from Benin, Edo, all the belt down to Abeokuta.
So you had to travel to all of those places.
We traveled to. Also for bananas, we've gone around southwest from Ogun State. Started our journey from Ogun State all the way to Osun State.
And the security. So I'm looking at you.
So for now, we've stopped. So we've identified key buyers in those areas.
Okay.
Before we'd go to, you'd see me leave hotels in Ile-Ife as early as 5:30 in the morning, and we're going to the market. We identified there's a market. We have to go there just to have a sense of how the people are, what they're doing, and see the bigger picture. So we leave the hotels. We'll go a night before, and as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, we set out. Even though there were insecurity then, it wasn't as bad as now. So now we've kind of scaled back on doing that. At some point, we wanted to go into Benue, but because of security, we're like, let's took to conquer.
No, so tell us about the people. I'm excited about the people of those towns. How's the reception?
Funny enough, when we go to it's been warm so far. So far, people have been warm. Nigerians were warm people. I was in Nasarawa last year, late last year. Very warm people, very open. You talk to them. The women will sit down together. We'll talk. They will show you what they're doing, and our women are doing so many awesome things.
Wow.
I went for an agric fair in Nasarawa. The women were awesome. You needed to see what women were doing with rice
That we eat every day.
They baked cakes with rice. They did chin chin with rice. They did all sorts. Our women are industrious. I mean, we should give it to women.
Okay.
We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot.
That's interesting.
We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. Down south, Ile-Ife, all the way to Ilesha, all the way to Ogun State Belt, Abeokuta. They're awesome. In some areas, yes, you feel you get the sense of hostility in some areas, but in some areas they're open. Okay. I mean, I've been to a market where a farmer's market, a huge farmer's market. I saw trucks coming from Kano, Kaduna. They were coming to pack bananas in large trucks. 40-feet truck was going to the north, and I was like shocked to see that this kind of towns were embracing people from all over Nigeria and all that.
Now, on what scale can beginners with limited funds, because you mentioned sometimes people have money, sometimes people don't know what to do with their monies. Now, limited funds decide to invest in such an innovative business. Are you open to investors? No, before you answer that, first of all, answer this office. Because really, the truth is sometimes people have money, and I don't know, myself and somebody were talking, I'm like, there's money in this country. And they're like, yes, already, yes, there's money in this country, but it's how to, people like, for some people, if I invest 100 naira, when am I getting my 200 naira? For some people, it's like that, but for people who have limited funds, I'm like, okay, so where do I start from? What are your suggestions?
Okay, so for those that have limited funds, identify people that have this equipment already. You don't need to start and should not start with buying equipment. It's wrong.
Okay. Don't buy equipment.
Don't buy equipment because you are just holding out your working capital. So whatever funds you have, test it. So if you know someone that has a machine, you can speak to them. I have a friend, a young lady for me, food dehydrator on Instagram. So she brings a lot of people. People go to meet her, and then she connects them with people like me or other processors, depending on what you bring to her, and you can help them process it and turn them into what they can now go out and sell. There's no reason why everybody has to be rushing in to go and buy machines. That's why we end up where we are. We have a lot of small fragmented businesses, and we cannot grow to scale. Abroad, you barely find them doing that. A lot of businesses are even winning awards abroad, don't have equipment. They contract it out. It's called contract manufacturing or white label. They meet these other people that have invested so much in technology and equipment, and then those produce for them, and then they bag and they sell, so they can focus on their core. Because your core might not be even production. Your core might be sales or marketing, or branding, or making noise about the products. So rather, you don't digress, and you still make your money. You definitely will still make your money. And in terms of investing, yes, we're looking for investors. So we're open to investors, equity, whatever, to scale. I mean, no business in Nigeria will say they have enough money. I don't have.
If you have questions for the founder CEO of Lim, and if you're interested in the pepper soup and you're interested in banana, call us now before she goes, because you have to sign. You have to stay. Even me, I have to sign. Call us, WhatsApp, send us a WhatsApp message, 0809 234 5913 or 0809 191 3913 or 0809 2 in 3 places 0913. Now, in terms of food security, tell us about that, because sometimes it's, how do we secure food? What do we do in terms of food security?
So what we've tried to encourage people is that we try to encourage, or even smallholder farmers. There's no reason why, if you have space in your house, you can grow your food.
Okay.
Grow your food. You can grow your food in sacks. People grow yams in sacks. You can grow your herbs on your kitchen window, in small containers. Let's start doing things. Let's start knowing where, and it's important for you to know where your food is coming from. Know the source. And also, where you see people handling food wrongly, talk to them. Let's start educating ourselves. Why would you carry ugu in the back of a truck? It's already, half of the ugu is already touching the ground, and we're going to eat it. Let's start educating ourselves. It's what we are putting in our systems. So let's start from you and I. Start from you and I.
Now, over 2 decades of experience working in. Before I continue, hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Ngozi. I'm calling from Surulere.
Okay, Ngozi. Reduce the volume of your radio set.
It's actually down to the lowest.
Okay, go ahead with your question, comment.
Please, I'd like to know if she takes interns.
Interns?
I studied genetics and biotechnology, and I just feel like gaining an experience in that.
Are you ready to work?
Yes, I am.
It's not everybody says they want to do internship, but when it's time for work, they will not want to work. So send
I'll
us.
prove myself.
Okay, good. I like that. So go to their send us a WhatsApp message and then I'll relate with her. The numbers to send the
Okay.
WhatsApp message is 0809 234 5913. And thank you so much.
Please, ma, can you call the number one more time?
0809 234
Okay.
5913 92 34 59 13.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, if you have comments or questions, 009 234 5913 or 0809 191 3913. We're discussing exploring innovation through food, and she's somebody who is innovation. Because really, wait, what is innovation to you? Because you just carried all the food that would somehow have thrown away and you have made something out of it. Would you call that innovation for you? What's that? Apart from your passion, apart from us trying to win, what's that to you?
I think for me, innovation is just trying to come up with new ways of doing things.
Okay.
Taking pap that's normally sold on the streets in nylon and packaging it. There was one particular video I watched on Instagram, and that thing just made me stand up. I saw one woman, a pap, she was actually sealing the case and she put it in the machine and it was sealing. I was like, pap.
Yes.
50 naira pap is now being sealed. I was like, then I have to wake up. Which I have to think out of the box. And I mean, maybe because of the years of experience I've worked, I've always had this, that anywhere you go to, you must bring in your own flair, your own differentiation, something that makes you stand out from the crowd. So I'm always thinking out of the box, and because also I attend all these fairs, I like going out. I mean, exploring. Sometimes it looks as if I'm mad, but from the madness you get some good things done.
So over 2 decades of experience working in various capacities with 3 leading financial institutions in Nigeria, what's the journey been like? And have you been able to translate that to Lim?
It's not for the faint-hearted. I started working with banks. I worked with 3 banks.
Okay.
And I was always sad. Even though I was earning a lot of money, I was always sad. I just didn't like the working hours.
Okay.
Even though it was interesting, I met quite a lot of friends. But I mean, the working hours was painful for me. But I changed. I joined Unilever.
Okay.
I worked in Unilever for 5 years. I worked in various capacities, from treasury to management accounting. Whilst I was in management accounting, treasury was fun because it was like an offshoot of banking, so a lot of bankers and all that. But whilst I was doing management accounting, that was when I started feeling the real accounts and the buzz of FMCG, because I was dealing with a lot of brands.
Numbers.
And you were seeing what was making the brands profitable or not profitable, what was making them tick, and then you now see them in the stores, and then you're like, okay, so it's making sense, And then I joined Cadbury later. I spent almost 10 years in Cadbury, working in different capacities, from sales, marketing.
You left. It's not accounting that you were doing something.
Maybe God was preparing me.
You were just doing something. Now, with all of that experiences with Lim, what have you been able to? You used to do your finances by yourself?
No. Okay, so I do a lot of product costing. That's my forte. So I do a lot of product costing. However, we have accountants. We have accountants that do our annual accounts, and then we now challenge each other. When they bring the report, I was like, okay, this is what the law says. This is what the accounting SAS, this one does. IAS says this. So we now challenge ourselves on it. But we keep our processes professional. We have professionals running all our processes. So
now with the ever rising inflation in Nigeria, what do you think would happen? Because if inflation is high now, what will happen to our products and services?
Unfortunately, it's the final consumers that are bearing the costs. They will bear the brunt. Everybody across the value chain. So because of the value chain, from input people, people that are selling the seeds or seedlings or the point of lay, everybody is bearing the cost. So margins have reduced for everybody. The farmers have absorbed as much as they can absorb, and now they're crying. They're crying for help. A lot of businesses, if not carefully managed, will collapse.
How do we not collapse?
So we need intervention. We need support from government. we need support, we need uplift, we need stimulus packages from governments, especially right now. The poultry value chain is suffering, and they've been suffering since COVID. You know, when COVID happened, there was restriction in movement. Now the birds lay eggs every day
per second.
So, and now we have a lot of farms, poultry farms in Oyo, Ogun State, and even Lagos State. Now, Lagos State was even managing because we had,
the restaurants and all
restaurants were not open during COVID.
No, they were not.
So there were no weddings. So there was no use for cakes. Schools were all at home. So there were no snacks, there was no scotch egg, there was no egg roll, there was nothing. There were no birthday celebrations. So what happened to the farmers the eggs were laying? People were burying eggs. And that was the painful aspect. You use money to buy feed.
The feed is expensive.
Feed very expensive. It's going up every day. So margins are very limited. The margins are getting slimmer. The birds are laying every day, and you're burying them. It is the worst thing that can happen to a farmer. It's a nightmare. So they need stimulus. We also need to encourage the ease of doing business.
Okay, just hold on, Mom. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please reduce the volume of your radio set.
I don't have the radio with me.
Okay, go ahead.
And my name is Remy. I'm calling from Central London.
Okay.
Can I suggest that, please, if you want to do a show like this next time, you want to talk about pepper soup, can you come with a bowl of pepper soup?
Someone is even asking. Someone asked, "Good morning, Lagos. How do I get the pepper soup back?"
You should go to our page on Instagram and then you see it.
So what's the page?
It's Lim at Lim dried fruits.
Okay.
At Lim dried fruits.
Okay.
Go ahead quickly. My time is almost up.
Okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, because it arouses my appetite, and I'm feeling like eating pepper soup now. So my question would be, what are your thoughts on food justice, and how does it play into this innovation you're talking about, and the role of quality control in sustaining this sort of innovation?
Okay, then. Thank you so much. Quality control, food justice.
Okay, I'm not sure about food
justice, but quality control.
But quality control, it builds on you and I. We see a lot of wrong practices being sharp practices and wrong practices being showcased every day, and then we turn our eyes away from it. I've seen instances where people are doing zobo, they're using plastic containers to do zobo. For food safety, you're not supposed to use plastic containers to handle food. We should start making noise about it. We have NAFDAC controlling us, but they can do a lot more in terms of enlightenment, not in terms of punitive measurements, but in terms of educating people on the needs and the reason why XYZ should be done. We do a lot of tests. Our products, we take them to labs. We do analysis on our products.
We have labs in Nigeria.
Oh, definitely. We have loads of labs that are they're very well up to date. We go to different labs. We go to the high end one. We go to the mid range ones, just to test that what they're saying. I mean, it's correlating. It's like taking a second opinion on something, just to ensure that we're in the right frame, we're in the right place, so that anywhere we go, I am all over the world. And I say it boldly, our products can stand proudly beside any product in the world.
I thought you were going to India. Okay. Well, my time is almost up, right? Okay. I'm coming. I'll answer this later. Now looking back now, while you're seated, what's the one thing that you take from all the journey, the Lim journey, from the kitchen to India to Bumosho to Ife?
For me, I feel nothing happens out of ordinary. Life is a journey. Okay. Everything that happens to one was meant to have happened to one. But make the best out of it. I'm not one to gloat over a disappointment. I believe firmly in turning limes into lemonade. Somebody might see it as very bad. I'll make it look like it's the best thing since ice cream. And I feel everybody should do that, because for all you may know, you might just be 6 feet away from gold. Just keep going. Don't give up.
Okay. I said you keep going. You should not give up. Even when everything is increasing.
No, well, give up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you to everyone who has called in. My time is up. But like we say on Signals, create opportunities for people and people be people. But then I had this to say that great can come from anywhere. Great can come from anywhere. Keep at it. We'll see you next week, God willing. Have a wonderful week. Have fun.